Hey guys, today I want to do this card. So I made this past event. I used the Bow Bunny. It's the Love and Lace collection. And then I used this IO die. It's a heart die. I did start to use this one, but the layout just wasn't working. So I did end up using this one again. So let's get started. This card, the size is a 5.5 by 5.5. And then just be patient. The girls are, Victoria and Annabelle are here. So this is a 5.5 by 5.5 card base. I'm just gonna go ahead and fold that over. So from this collection, I wanted to use, I can show you kind of some papers through it. Has some really pretty roses. The blue, this has the roses in the background. Have some texture papers. I use this for matting on our card. It has some nice stripes. Some more roses. So for the first card, I used this is a really pretty rose. And you can you see the lace through there too? Kind of in the design. And then this was a really pretty paper. So love forever, always, true love, you and me. Really pretty. And then this has some nice lace trim that we're also going to use. The darker version of the roses, different variation. So this is the first one I used. You see that really pretty light rose background. So that is this background here. So for this card we're making now, we are going to go a little bit darker. So what's going to happen with the darker paper is we're not going to be able to stamp the I love you. So the I love you is not going to be visible to put on our paper like we did this one. So let's get started. Let me show you. So can you see I did the black base, and what I did was I know this base is going to be covered, so I do like to save as much paper as possible. So I went ahead and cut the heart that we're using out of the base that we're going to use. So that's our first layer. And then our second layer, I did the same thing because I really like this lace. Can you see this background lace paper? Let me show you. See that? It's really pretty. So most of it here, when we are making this card, you can only see the edge of it. And so I did the same thing to where I have the edge, but I cut out the center. So that's going to be on our mat on our card, but then I still have this to use for another project. Our next base is going to be, like I said, we're going to use the darker roses with that pretty lace in there. So we're matting that on a black mat. And that's going to be our next set of mats. We're going to do a trim. So that trim paper that I showed you, I cut a portion of it out and just matted it on some of the paper. Solid, somewhat solid in there. So that's going to be a layer on that. And then again, I used the kind of maroon solid, and then I have this piece. So this piece with the love, you and me, kind of the sentiments on it. So that's going to be our last layer. And then the heart just on top. And then we're gonna add a bow. I did finish it with some pearls. So we will do that, just have some little pearls here. And, sorry, I'm going around here. Let's go ahead and get started on matting this. So, first piece. And taking out these layers when you do it from the middle, it really doesn't affect, like you can't tell through the layers. Some people ask me that, like, can you see it? And you really can't. So this paper is the same size as my card base. Usually I like to leave kind of a border, but on this one, I wanted the edge to be black versus the white border of the card base. If you can see on the square that I cut out, I actually used one of my stitch square dies. So there's a stitch border around this negative space, which we're not gonna see, but it's there. So there's that. That's our layer there. Have our pretty darker set of roses. And for your own cards, you don't have to use as much glue as I do. I tend to keep them sitting around for a long time, so I like to put some extra adhesive on it so when I do get to send it out, it doesn't fall apart on me. It's going to be our next layer. And I just kind of looked at the way I wanted that down because I did want to try to keep some of that pretty lace and mixed in the roses exposed. And this lace border was a perfect accent for those. Almost put those together incorrectly. Okay, so there's this one. And I'm just doing it up a little bit higher so that we have room for that bow. Okay, so I'm just using my quilling glue. Have this fine tip bottle. You don't have to put it on all the points because I don't mind if it sticks up, but just on the thicker ones, I do like to make sure I keep it adhered. Okay. And for the glue dots, I'm just going to take my ribbon, pick up the glue dot with my bow, so it's now on the back of my bow, and go ahead and place that down. Gonna fan my ribbon out. I apologize, I should have opened these. I'm just gonna use some tweezers. I had my quilling stuff out, so I'm using my quilling glue and my quilling tweezers. Actually, I want to go on the darker one. Okay. So there's our 2 cards. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.